All right. We are recording, so whenever you're ready.
What's going on, everybody? This is Mike Romanelli from the Free Sync. Bring it back.
You made the laugh real, man.
So what's going on, everybody? This is Mike Romanelli, and this is the Free Thinker Society, episode number 8. I'm here, joined with my main man, Clint Esposito, running the boards, producing on the ones and twos. What's up, Clint?
Not much. How are you today?
I'm good, Clint. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. It's actually cool in the studio here.
I'm still sweating, but yes, it's much cooler than normal. It is much cooler than normal.
We're at the top of a building here, so normally the studio in the summer has been, the last couple of weeks, has been a scorcher.
Yeah, especially the No Carnival shows when it gets packed in
Yeah,
here.
you get 6 people in here, and
It's
then
very hot. Yeah,
we got a refreshing drink, though.
we're refreshed. Nice, refreshing drinks. How is so? You've done a couple comedy shows.
Yeah, here at the Dojo of Comedy.
Yeah, well, not just here, but you've done. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I've been doing mics mainly. I did like one kind, like I guess it's a show. It was a lot of other comedians there, but
how's it feel to get back on somewhat of a stage?
feels good. I'm pumped, for sure. I wish that, let me try and fix my voice a little bit. That's a little bit better. I definitely pumped. It was definitely weird in the beginning. I'm glad I went to some mics before I got up in front of, regular people, because the first one was a little bit rough. I had some stuff, so at mics I just go off of notes. I had stuff written down, and then I sped through it, and then I just gave the rest of my time back to the room. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I was like,
Well, that's got to be right. It's been what, 4 months?
yeah,
Or
something
so.
like
So
that.
timing has to be a real issue with all you guys and girls.
Yeah. Well, and that's when you get nervous. You rush through things. You don't pause.
Yeah.
You tell the stuff real fast. So
It's kind of like what we do here sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you
So-
get nervous, Mike?
Not as much as I used to. I used to be very nervous when we first started. I've always been behind the mic and behind, not behind. I've never been behind the mic and always on the other side of the
Behind the
cameras.
scenes.
Behind the scenes always. So it was a little in the beginning, but I'm getting used to it. I've been doing other podcasts. So
Much bigger podcast.
no, not much big.
Well, they are.
Not much.
Some
No,
of
but,
them
but
are.
well, yeah. I mean, I kind of got thrown to the wolves. Yeah, I was friends with a bunch of people and then put on some big shows. But no, I mean, I've just been doing other podcasts, not just ours, and it's kind of similar to comedy, I guess, because once you get that the reps, it's just you get more comfortable with talking into a microphone or with cameras on and things like that, which is pretty new to me, and I'm enjoying it, but it's a new thing. I've always been the other side of things. I've always been behind the scenes.
So for people that don't know, you always produced events.
Yes. Yep.
So you did raves and stuff like that, and then you obviously owned bunch of restaurants.
Yeah, I started out very young. It's funny, we call them raves now. When I was a kid, we didn't go. When I was doing them, we just called them parties, like parties or
Rave
dance
parties.
parties. Yeah, now it gets rave parties, but dance parties. Yeah, in the '90s, mid to late '90s, that was my thing.
So you're how old?
I'll be 40.
No. When you're doing this.
Oh, the first event I ever threw, I was actually I started organizing when I was 17, and once it actually took about a year of planning, I was 18, and that was a big one, a really, really big one.
Is that couldn't have been your first business venture? What
That's-
did you do before that?
That's my first real business venture.
Right, but what did you do before that as far as that got you thinking? Because you and I are similar. I had I'm sure this is none of the topic that you wanted to talk
No,
about
it's okay.
today.
That's fine.
But so in high school, I bought a screen print machine and then started to actually print my own shirts, but then to generate money also, while I wasn't selling my own, I was printing other people's shirts. So I always kind of got into set myself up with little businesses and stuff.
How old were you
like 17.
in
I
high
was
school?
in high school, yeah.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I guess you could say before that I started with getting a bunch of DJs together, and I would always be the one to you know, back or financially back the mixtape that we put out. And I'd rent back then. You'd rent the machines. We'd rent
Uh-huh.
the machines and make 500 tapes. And
So then did you do events for the
yeah,
acts?
for the yeah. So this thing is so similar to comedy.
This is exactly
It's
I run the exact same. So at 21, at 2021, I started doing freestyle. I raced for a little while. 2021, I started doing freestyle, and then I built the freestyle motocross business, basically booking shows and stuff. And I use
Yeah.
the exact same formula for comedy now.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with the parties and the raves back then. A lot of the younger, up and coming DJs were the ones that were the warm ups, let's say, or you would guest spot, not featured, but guest spots, whatever. It's very very similar the way I would design a party to how we do the shows.
Right.
Obviously, it's it's a much smaller scale, even with giant names in comedy. It's still smaller because back then, I mean, I'm sure now as well, but there was a lot in the production with the sound, the lighting, the lasers back then all needed to be cooled. So you have to have all kinds of water to make sure the lasers were cooled properly. There was a lot of, plus, and all of my big events, all my very successful events, which is so strange, was all really before, way before social media. And the only thing you really did on the internet back then was if you were fancy, you had a website maybe, and it was like
Right.
a one-page website
Yeah.
that. So it wasn't used for
Was
for
expensive
promoting.
as shit because you had to have somebody purposefully build it. Now you couldn't just like go and get Squarespace and throw some pictures up.
Yeah.
Somebody had to sit there and write code
Oh
out.
yeah. Even the flyers back then, like going to the designers.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, and it was all flyers. That's how everything was passed around. You just go to a party or a rave in another state, and you just wait till it was over, and you just hand out flyers and
Yeah.
talk to everybody. And
See, I think that's how we need to start doing comedy shows right now. Get out there and
just talk to the people.
yeah, be like, yo,
I mean,
we're
everyone-
socially distanced, bro.
Everyone definitely does rely on social media. I think a little bit too much. I really do.
There's still something to be said for hand to hand. Yo, what's up? We're gonna do a comedy show, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus giving them a flyer that they have in their hand. We can take wipes with us, and we'll just wipe the flyers off and then hand it to them.
But yeah, I think pretend there's no COVID going on right now. But yeah, I think with any kind of art, comedy, music, whatever, if you're going to be doing events, nothing beats the person to person when you invite that person. Say, hey,
Yeah.
you and your friend should come, or explain to them it's maybe you're a comic and they hear you and you're like, hey, I'll be performing at this show, or the DJ, and you give someone a mixtape and you'll be like, hey, I'm performing at this party.
You know, comics especially, because it's more of you're trying to bring people like on a regular basis for comedy, and even if it's not like a bringer, like that's why the person is kind of hiring you, to be a little bit of a draw.
Mm-hmm.
And people overlook that it's people that they know. Like people think that the imaginary people on the internet are going to come to your show, and it's not like the people that you know personally that you've seen at shows and stuff like that. So again, it's somebody you have seen at shows, that you actually know, versus trying to recruit random people on the internet, which everybody thinks is super easy. You have access to them, but if they don't know you, it's the same reason why influencer marketing works.
100%, man. I think I really think that people rely too much on social media. Now, obviously we couldn't do something like this without social media and having people
This is
over.
for that platform, but this isn't a
It's not an event
Exactly.
that you need to be at.
exactly.
Yeah. But it's a shame because I'm seeing that a lot now, where in the comedy world that they have 50,000 followers, so we should really book that person. I think you need that with the grassroots to really, where you're actually out there telling people, hey, I'm performing here, or like you said, telling friends, you could say, or whoever follows you. But there's a lot of comics in the circuit, in the New Jersey circuit, that I've seen, that people that come to certain other local, and I don't think they're necessarily friends. I think they're their fans. I think they
Yeah.
you get oh, I like this comic. I know this comic's
But
gonna
my
be
point
there,
is
so.
at that point they've been to a couple of shows. You know them. You at least know who they are. That's my
Yeah.
point. Like I used to joke about freestyle motocross. People will go, "Are you famous?" And I'm like, if you were a 13-year-old boy that liked freestyle motocross and watched it on the internet between 2005 and 2010, yeah, maybe I'm famous. But I also don't think you're famous if you know everybody that thought you were cool at one point personally.
Yeah, right.
Like I've done events and met all these people that were fans on the internet, and then I like literally know them. Anybody that literally thought that I was cool at one point from dirt bikes, almost around the world, because I ran into dudes in Mexico, like kids in Mexico and stuff. I know them personally because it's such a small world, so
Yeah.
I just know all of them. But it's the same way. If you're in the local comedy scene, you know those people that come to shows regularly, and that's who you need to cultivate.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
It's
everybody's trying to convince other people that don't go to comedy shows to come to their comedy show, you know?
yeah. Well,
Or like the
It's-
email list you have
yeah, that's what I was gonna say,
from the
like an email
club
list, yes.
is a better to touch base with people that have already shown interest
Mhm.
versus trying to convince people that are like,
to convince a new person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's strange times, man. That's why I was asking about comedy, how you feel about it. I know I wasn't super excited to be doing outdoor comedy shows, but you know what? Now I am. Now it's actually going and rolling, I'm really excited to see everyone back, and for all the comics to be performing is it makes me happy, and to see people laugh again makes me happy. And hopefully we'll get back to normal soon. I don't know when that's going to be. Everyone on this show will say it's in November. I feel like that's not. Obviously,
Maybe we
after November, it will get normal, but I don't think it's going to be like everyone thinks. Like was it November?
Yeah,
It's
no.
gonna poof. I don't think it's going to happen.
no, it's not going to be like poof, and they're not just going to stop talking about it. They're going to have to blow something up so that way they cause a distraction.
Well, that actually brings me into something I want to talk to you about today.
All right.
What do you think about the Pentagon releasing all this alien stuff?
Again, what's the I don't know. You're going to say Project Bluebeam?
Well, yeah, eventually we'll get there. But like, what do you?
I don't know, man. Like, what is the
Like, why now?
exactly? I don't know.
No,
I'm not that. I don't play even chess. I don't even play regular chess.
I'm gonna play checkers.
Yeah, I'm a checkers guy. I'm like, they've lost me already. I'm like, he can
Well-
only move what? What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it's very interesting, right? That I mean, they have been hinting about a lot more things with extraterrestrials, a lot more, right? In the last
Yeah.
couple years, a lot more hints.
Is that maybe that's how they get us off of the COVID?
That's what I'm thinking.
You go COVID, elections, aliens.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's what it looks like, but it also could be, we're in a generation now where everything is instant, and this stuff, whoever is in charge of whatever is happening in the world, everything is very slow. We think everything's really, really fast, so it could be like, all right, they're going to sprinkle it right now about the aliens and
Well,
stuff,
they have to.
and start explaining.
They
right now.
have to.
Yeah.
Condition you for it.
Yeah, get you ready for it. That's what they always say.
Because
Like all the
they
movies
can't
are
just blow your mind with
slowly getting you ready, right? Predictive programming.
for sure.
So then first it comes from movies.
Yo, like how about the first release a couple of weeks ago, and everybody's like, "Yo, alien," and then they just stopped. Then nobody said any. Like, do you see how quickly that went away?
That's another crazy thing. That's just like the 24-hour news cycles we're in, which is so
but
crazy.
my point
man.
is, they're
So
all
crazy.
everybody's already like, aliens were the thing. 1 million, 2 million people were gonna storm Area 51, right?
Yeah.
To find out about aliens, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, guess, oh, by the way, aliens are real. And they're like, oh, cool, I knew that. And then they just moved along. Like, what the fuck? Because the news cycle was so deep with other things
Yeah.
that they just like slid it in there and everybody's like, oh yeah, we kind of knew that.
It's crazy, man. It just shows the times that we're in. How like these cycles are so fast. I mean, today it's the Epstein stuff is getting released, right?
Dude,
There's
yeah.
tons of documents being
I think it's
unsealed.
hilarious that everybody, this is sidetrack, we'll get to Epstein, but I think it's hilarious everybody's just like regurgitates on Facebook or whatever exactly the talking points that everybody has said.
through the news, like whatever article.
Whatever
Yeah.
article, yeah, whatever. Well, you know that like all the news stations get like the same exact readouts.
Oh yeah.
You know, so then everybody says the exact same phrasing and everything to argue their side. And you're like, everybody's already said this, you know. And if you go with the 1%, the small percent, because I've been saying, and it's whatever, but I've been saying the whole time, how is this so deadly for everybody? I feel like it can't be. I feel like we're missing something small, and that it's probably more easily curable than we're letting on. And that's what they're fighting against, the information like that to get out, that maybe you could prevent it with vitamin D and vitamin C and zinc and fucking, you know, that other drug that we're not allowed to talk about, which got
Which is so strange to me.
vilified because somebody that they don't like said that it would work. If he hadn't have said anything right in the beginning, do you think there would have been an issue with it?
I mean, it clearly looks like it. Yeah, that's the case. I mean, it's so strange. This is so strange to me. There's a drug that they're using.
You can't use.
It's becoming political.
Exactly.
It blows my mind.
Exactly.
And that's where I always say it. I know it's annoying that I say this all the time. I'm not a big Trumper, but I always got to go with like somebody truly does not want this guy to ever win. To the point where it's a fucking drug.
I was riding my bicycle
wait,
today,
what?
and I started to think just the fact that, because I was going back and forth thinking about this type of thing, and I'm like, I don't trust any of these guys, and I think Trump obviously knows what he's doing. He knows how to work the system and all that, and he's a businessman. But the only saving grace, the only thing in my head that really makes me go, dude, there's something up, is that every president bonded together against him. Every ex-president. When has the Bushes and the Clintons ever been buddy-buddy? Like they realized a greater enemy than each other.
Well, okay, there you go. That's perfect. Look at the funeral. It was the funeral of Bush Sr. You remember that? That was right around the time when Trump was pretty new.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like everyone's in this club, and he was just totally...
Yeah.
And it's so obvious, man. And like, yeah, but the Bushes and the Clintons, like, that's just typical WWE, what politics are supposed to be. Where it's like this whole, you know, where they're fighting each other,
but
and
now
then like
all
when
of
the
a sudden
camera's
they're
off,
on
everyone's
the same side.
Yeah, well now it's like they don't even give a fuck. Everyone's just like, gloves are off, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's just so fucking obvious, and that's what really brings me back to Trump every once in a while. Is when I see that, it's like, would it be that obvious that? I mean, it's that obvious.
Everybody's now like, yo, this
everyone-
guy, he's not in the clique.
It's so obvious from it doesn't matter. I mean, like, if you when I check my phone in the morning, every single article is literally like, why Trump will never make it, to the election. Why
It's
he's gonna
hilarious.
quit. Why it's like, what the fuck? What are these articles? And I'll fall for it. I'm like, oh, let me click. What's gonna happen? And it's just.
I think that stuff actually hurts them. They think that they're deterring people. They're like painting him as an asshole, right? But I think that the people that think he's an asshole think he's an asshole, and the people that like him are being pushed more towards him by all the negative and the hate.
Yeah, and I think you got more people like myself, and there's a lot of other people that I want to say in the early days were Bernie people, and then they kind of got. They kind of went the Trump way because they didn't want regular staff. And I'm not saying Bernie was right or wrong. I'm just saying some of the levels of where people have come to like Trump.
Think
and I
Bernie,
think
sorry.
no, I'm just saying. I think you got people like myself, a lot of them that are like, wait a minute, if like you see the whole play, you see that what the fuck? Like, I mean, even to the point where there's a drug. There's a drug. The guy said, "Hey, it works." A lot of doctors are saying, "Hey, this works," and they're like, certain places are banning it,
Yeah.
which is nuts. And I've
Yeah.
talked to quite a few people that are pharmacists and they're like, "No, it works. It works." But it's like, shouldn't that be everywhere? Shouldn't everyone know about it? Shouldn't everyone should be happy? I don't know. I feel like in tragedy, like we should all be coming together as a Americans and be okay. We found something that works. This is great.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to save humankind versus we have our petty differences. That's what makes me know that it's not about the survival rate. It's not about any of that. It's about what they can blame on the other one to have political gain.
Well, it definitely, you could see it all happening now about everyone is talking about the mail-in voting, right?
Dude, that's such a shit show.
Which, to me, come on, man. I mean, like, they said that we did votes during World War II.
Yo, the
did
last
votes in
couple of
other
elections,
pandemics.
the last couple of votes in the elections, none of the military vote was counted because they didn't get in time. They announced that shit that night. Not all the ballots are in.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't understand. This is something so... Amazon knows exactly where you are. If you click, yes, I got the package, where it's going. Like, they have so much control. You're telling me that the government doesn't have enough technology to say, okay, we know this is Clint Esposito's vote. And you either click something or you have some ID or something to say, okay, this is your... Come on, man. It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous.
I agree.
Like, we
Everybody
have the technology
has the
to say,
phone.
yeah, your phone, right?
And the very small minority that doesn't, then you do the mail-in votes. But it should not be
Sure.
across the board.
Yeah, sure. Use a smartphone. Use some. There's ways for us to do it.
If it's a homeless person, they can certainly go to a voting booth and not die because they already live outside next to everybody.
I mean, it blows my mind that vote. I mean, that's where you just know that this whole thing is rigged and this whole system is
They've been
just
claiming you can't go and vote for months. They didn't even know what was going to happen with the virus, and they're just going, well, we're gonna have to do mail-in votes, and we're like, it's like 3 months away. What the fuck are you talking about?
It was brought up very early.
Very early.
Very early. It was brought. That's why I'm saying, like, you knew this play was gonna. If you, not that I'm so awoke and not that I'm so knowledgeable, but when you've been watching this shit for so long and your eyes are a little more open, you start seeing things before they're gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's why I brought up the alien thing, because I really feel like. I don't think it's going to be like right away that Project Bluebeam's going to happen, but I feel like
that's why they're setting it
that
up
would be
now.
extreme.
They need to transition out of
COVID. It's got to be, well, yes, but people, for some reason, the world isn't biting these stories as much as I would think. Like, think about it. Like, think about it in the 90s, the alien stuff. In the 90s, man, if this was coming out, like, people would be going nuts about it.
Because everybody's arguing over masks. Not aliens.
Well, everyone's
If there was no COVID debate, I guarantee you aliens would be a bigger thing.
Maybe, but what about if...
How is it not when we could have like a planet war with some, instead of world war, they're worried about civil war. We could have a fucking intergalactic war, bro.
All right, well that's
We're fucked.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing, right? So
that's how they pull you off COVID. They're like, "Yo, aliens are attacking." Is that the Project Bluebeam? Do they land friendly or do they land and attack us?
Project Bluebeam, what it would be a fake alien invasion. So it will be a false flag, right? So an event that's staged. The false flag. Everyone, if you're new to this type of thinking, false flag does not mean it did not happen. That's where some people. This is where
it just means
this
it's
is where there's
set up by
This is
our
where there's
own
sometimes
people.
this is where there's sometimes interfighting in between people that are into the truth. So let's just certain little things will back up. A false flag does not mean it didn't happen. A false flag means an event was set up to have other repercussions. So does it? When people say 9/11 was a false flag, well, it doesn't mean that people did. Some people believe that no one died. That's crazy, but that's their opinion. If they like it, I would love to even hear people. I would love to speak to people that do think that. But yeah, so false flag. So that's another. It's one of those things where there's interfighting in the truth community because they'll say, well, that was a big narrative for a while. That false flags means you're a denier of the event. That's not true. So a false alien invasion would mean, I mean, at least what Project Bluebeam is supposed to be set up is for a fake alien invasion, or also don't discredit the a false messiah. So the idea would be that we're going to get invaded, or it could be an alien invasion, or it could be something like Jesus comes from the sky, and it's either a hologram or some kind of technology, and then the world comes together. It's all tied in with the New World Order, the one world government. You could anybody could listen to that famous Ronald Reagan speech where he talks about an alien invasion, and how everyone would have to team up together to so.
Do you think Reagan was a New World Order person?
That's such a. I've debated with Tommy G about this a couple of times. I guess for forever I thought he was. I'm not sure now because people present more information to me. What it seems like possibly now, like what do I really know? It could possibly be that Reagan wasn't a bad guy, that his intentions were all good, but he was just a puppet for Bush Sr. Almost kind of like Bush Jr. and Cheney. Cheney was definitely the one, where he was more the puppet and Cheney was pulling all the strings. It could be more a possibility of that because at first I was always I would go really off on Reagan. Like I said, I'm not right or left or anything. I just want humanity to be better, people as a whole, and Americans as well. I definitely, I'm not one of those people that's like fully open borders and all that, but whatever. I was never big on Reagan at all. And I had some people kind of check me and give me some information on him, and I'm like, you know what? I've come more to the conclusion that I think he was maybe more of a puppet, and his intentions might have been okay because I was too young to really understand, but I guess he was also not an insider. He was an actor.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is some policy and there's some stuff that went on with him. But I guess you could say that with every president.
Dude,
man.
how I bet you get in there and they like take you aside, and they're like, yo.
Yeah, like you ain't
this
shit.
And that.
This is what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Show the video of JFK over and over, like you want to get tough.
Yeah.
Show every angle. I mean, it's it's a possibility. I feel like there's another thing. Like I feel like Trump doesn't give a fuck. Maybe they don't show him everything. I don't know, but he seems to be going against the grain. I, for whatever reason, will never understand how they paint him as a racist. And I get people get so angry about this that are anti-Trump. That he is a racist, but I just remember we're from the New York City area. I remember
no one ever said he was racist before he started
and that's what I'm saying. And like to be it's very I don't know anybody that is racist from New York City. Like if you're a real New Yorker, it's I don't know New Yorkers that are racist. I've met like cab drivers and darker skin people like back in the day that would be screaming racist stuff of every other race or other, but as far as like that white redneck racist, I've never seen that in New York.
No,
because you're never in New York. It's just it's always been a melting pot as much as I could remember. So I don't ever remember hearing.
It has been.
It's
I mean, think about it. Since Ellis Island was the place to come in what 40s or something, it's been a melting pot.
Yeah,
for the world.
I've never heard that he was racist prior to this. I remember him being actually. I remember a lot of rappers using references to him, like they wanted him to be down, because like a status thing, like oh shit, Donald Trump, he owns everything in New York, that kind of thing.
Well, even Mac Miller, right, on my Donald Trump shit, and then he got in and he was like, "Fuck Donald Trump," like he had to separate himself from him. And I'm sure it was just everybody calling him a racist that all of a sudden you got to go like, oh, I'm not for that. But it's...
You definitely have to, like, you definitely, if you want to be in the cool side of entertainment in Hollywood, you definitely have to talk shit about him. I mean, that's so obvious, right? And that's just another thing. It's so strange. Like, why?
Well, that's why, because all of it's cliquey. And we know that arts... Dude, listen, comedy is... super liberal as well, and Hollywood is too, acting and stuff. And I won't say comedy everywhere, but I can tell you here is I know Chicago is. Remember Nick was talking about in Chicago that he goes, he was pumped to be back here and be able to say more here.
Well, I heard Chicago's rough
Yeah.
in for comedy, which is, I don't know.
He said they're super, like woke, and you can't
That's a
say
shame
anything.
for comedy, man.
Dude, they would hate me.
Well, that's why I love New Jersey. That's why I love New Jersey. And I know you say, and maybe it's just the area we are in, but I always hated New Jersey until I got into comedy because, being around the Artie Langs and those kind of people, I just say whatever the fuck they want and don't really care. But that's what comedy's about.
I was going to say,
and once again, it's
feel like
intent.
that's
It's
how it
intent,
needs
man.
to
None of
be.
these people are racist. None of these people are, at least that I've come in contact, are it's just intent. It's funny. It's to make people laugh. I don't know. This whole that whole culture thing with even the sides, man. Even the sides. I do remember one time a comic was new to the room and asked me. He said was pretty much asking me the rules. I started laughing. I'm like, "There's no rules here, man. Just do whatever the fuck you want. Have fun." And he's like, "Hey, what do you think about?" And this is when Trump was someone new. He said, "What do you think about Trump jokes?" And I said, "Once again, man, do whatever you want to do." And it was a very interesting moment in the club because the room split.
Yeah.
The room fucking split. He started doing Trump jokes, and most of them were against Trump. And I think he, in the beginning, kind of baited it too, like he was almost pro. So he got the room, and he split the room down the middle. And it was a very odd thing where people were kind of upset. And it was strange. And he's like, "Hey, man," I'm like, I didn't tell you it was going to work. I just told you
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
care what you say. You can
Yeah.
say good,
You can
bad.
try
You can say
whatever the fuck
whatever
you
you
want.
want because I don't. That's the kind of that's what the dojo of comedy. That's what we do. We don't.
Hey, if you think you can pull it
Censor.
off, give
Yeah.
it.
As long as it's good. If it's good. And,
I have seen even here from Newark and Jersey City and stuff like that a huge difference. Even just 45 minutes away, or that's probably even half an hour from here, but where also comedians have come out to up in that barbecue place in Wharton and tried to do some Trump stuff and did not work.
Oh, it didn't work.
Did not work. But if you were down in Newark, like I said, or Jersey City or fucking Little Ferry or something like that, you'd probably kill with it.
You know what, Clint? I want to ask you something. Do you notice this? Do you notice that if you disagree with a point of view with somebody who, let's say, is more of a Trump, we'll say Trump. I don't want to say right. We'll say somebody that's, I don't want to say right or left because right or left back in the day, you're talking about Bushes, right? And
Right.
I was never for Bush. So let's just say the current situation, someone like Donald Trump. Did you notice that if you disagree with something that okay, if you have a friend who, let's say, is a big left person, Bernie supporter, Hillary, I guess Biden, whatever, one of those people, or a Trump person, do you ever notice that, have you ever gotten in disagreements with those kind of people?
I mean, sometimes.
Okay, have you ever noticed that there's nothing you can say?
Well, yeah, people
get-
have pledged too much allegiance to someone, and it doesn't matter. They're always going to justify their actions.
But I hate generalizations, but I feel like with this one I really can use it. I don't know many, other than very young, that are just almost using talking points, and then you're like, hey, man, whatever. I say man, I don't mean just a dude, but hey, like, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Think about what you're saying right now. We'll use the Trump as a racist thing. Where are the examples? And if they have good ones, sure. I'm not married to anything. I could be a flip flopper, and I'm just saying. I've noticed that I feel like some of these people are almost possessed, and I don't know if it's like
They don't have a good reason, actually. They'll just go, cause,
no,
you know what I mean? It's
angry.
stuff that he said because they get angry
And
because
angry,
they
man.
don't have a good. Anybody that, and I deal with it all. I poke the bear on Facebook all the time just because
Yeah.
they're constantly posting, mask shit and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
I just post anything that's opposite so that they get mad. But as soon as they don't agree with you and they can't actually respond to you intelligently and rebut what you said, you're an idiot, you're a moron.
Blocked.
Yeah, like nobody's, even this one guy hasn't blocked me, but he's just on everything, and he's constantly like, you just look like an idiot. And I'm like, you're on here arguing with people every day about this shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of name calling that you're not smart. You're not smart. You're so stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
But that's, and I even did a Clint Files about this a while ago. That's their frustration with not being able to articulate why they are right or why they feel they're right and how they view themselves. People that call other people stupid feel that they're worried that they're stupid.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's more about them than it is
it
about
always
you.
is, right? I mean, that's always with every
So,
kind of,
I mean, I think that if you have somebody that's the other thing that they always try to do is suck you down some side street of the conversation. You're like, trying to think of a good one. I had a conversation with a guy about the thing that Breitbart did with all those doctors, the Doctor Summit deal.
yeah, I want to talk about that as well. You're talking about the clip that you can't find on social media and you get banned. If it's like it's a group of real doctors.
Yep.
Saying something's not right.
I shared it while it was live.
Okay. Oh, you did?
So, the one lady they've vilified as being, like she's into semen demon or demon semen and fucking she said she saved 350 patients. She had 350 patients. None of them died. She gave them hydroxychloroquine or whatever the fuck it's called. Nobody can discredit her claim of saving all those patients. So they go, she's a fucking religious nut. She fucking believes this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I said to the dude, because he's super left.
So those are already debunking. I was going to ask you. I've been busy. I've been
but that's the debunking is that she's crazy. And I said, so you're a bigot? No, I'm not. And I said, he goes, listen, her beliefs in this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I said, so you're a bigot. And he goes, do you know what the definition? I said, not liking someone because of their beliefs is almost literally the fucking definition of bigot. What are you talking about? I said, you're not going by the fact that she saved all those people. You're going by the fact that you don't agree with her outlook on this other stuff that doesn't even have an effect on her treating the fucking patients.
Wow. So has there been more stuff against any of the other doctors?
No one said anything about anyone. Only that one. Yeah, they've just said
that's the woman that's almost like kind of crying or very upset or
yeah,
saying she would die for
the
it.
Nigerian lady at the end. Yeah, she was at the very end of it too. She was like the last one.
I think that's the only like real highlight I was able to see. It's hard to find the actual full video.
One of them was a senator from South Carolina, I think, and the rest of them were all doctors, and they went on about that and masks and all that shit about.
How long was the whole thing? I need to actually find the whole thing.
I bet it was. It's on BitChute.
Okay.
I'll find it, but I bet it's like a half an hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotta watch it.
But it's funny that none of those. Everybody was always going. The whole time going, listen to the experts. Listen to the experts. You're not an expert. And then you go, hey, what about these experts? And they go, no. That one believes in Jesus.
Yeah.
Or whatever the issue is.
And I know it's very, I know it's been said a million times, but okay, we listen to Bill Gates, who is not a doctor.
Yeah.
We have to listen to him like gospel.
Yeah. And that dude's only motivation is fucking money to be involved in the
I mean,
what does he know about vaccines?
There's clips of him just saying how we have to vaccinate the black community. Like, what? That should be like all over. People should be like, what are you saying now?
But the media hasn't painted him as racist, so it's overlooked. You can
he's been
say that.
Thrown out of other countries for fucking up with the things, with the vaccines.
Yeah, right. The amount of people that were hurt in Zimbabwe or some shit.
Yeah, there's a couple places where they've thrown him out. I think India is another one. And then the same people that want us to listen to Bill Gates, trust the doctors, listen to the experts, and then these people are the experts, and that video is banned, pulled. You can't find it.
Because it's spreading of fake. Exactly. This is if people don't see that at this point, this is censorship and fucking tyranny, I don't know what the fuck is going to show you.
Well, man, it goes to another hot topic right now, which I hate that we have to keep talking about, but it's so important we have to keep talking about, is pedophilia, children, all the children that go missing. I mean, I will keep saying this, and there's so many other things in the Free Thinker Society I want to speak about, but right now it seems like the hot topic, and it seems like something we have to talk about, and it's important. But okay, we have a problem with kids that are going missing. We all know about it. We're all sharing the memes. It seems to be one topic that nobody's going to be like questioning that, right?
You notice
no one's
that,
going to question that. We know it's real.
Well, that brings up a good point, because the same people that are saying Joe Biden is a good candidate and Hillary was a good candidate cannot get on the Epstein thing. The only thing that that side of it has said about the Epstein thing is that Trump knew him, because there's a picture of him.
Well, there's a lot of pictures, and that's one that it seems to, whenever you bring up Epstein, both sides.
But this is the point.
But there is some information that came out today about where they actually say that in these documents that they name Clinton. They say that no. I got to go through them. They've just been released, where they say they have not seen Donald Trump. And
no, actually, I seen something that our friend James at We the People posted, where they were saying that somebody testified they tried to link Trump to it, and the girl kept saying, "No, I don't ever remember seeing him there." And then actually, Trump kicked him out of his house in Florida or something, or banned him from there. Yeah,
I got the question in the thing says, Mr. Trump had a home in Palm Beach, correct? And she says, so he didn't come and stay there, did he? No, never. Would he come in for a meal? He would never have dinner. Never sat at a table. He never even came into the kitchen.
Listen, the guy keeps checking out better and better.
Well, that's the other thing, man. It's like, think about all the stuff that they go after this guy for, everything. If they have all this information and they're trying to suppress some of it, and it's coming out that, the names are the names that we all knew were going to come out, or are coming out in all these documents. And he would have been the first one, I feel like.
That's what the one dude said about that doctor. He goes, how are we going to know about her record? Or if she saved all those people. I said, doctors have to keep fucking records. Like, that's a silly thing to say. And I was like, that if any of her patients had died, she claimed she treated 350 people, none of them died. You know damn well that if they could have linked death to that woman, it would be fucking everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Clint, it just makes no sense to me that
the media is so one-sided.
It's so hard to get this video off. Why is it so hard to get this video off? And then the disgusting things, which, guys, please don't send me any of that stuff. I don't open it. I don't look at it. I know it's out there. I've done my research on all this stuff, and it's disturbing. You could look at most kids' movies. You're going to find weird stuff. You're going to find symbolism.
Do you keep getting shit like that?
No, I don't keep getting it, but people, because people are upset, and they should be upset. And there's ways.
It's like, listen, I believe it. I don't want to watch.
When you awaken, no, because in the beginning you'll see things. Because at first it sounds crazy, and then you'll start watching some cartoons or the stuff that's right out there, and you'll be like, holy shit! Or you see certain skits, or you'll see things, and you're like, what the fuck? And I don't think it's all. I think there is some coincidence, and I do think sometimes there's people in writing. They're up at the top. They're maybe slipping things in. I don't think it's always that people are fully aware of what is actually getting pushed into art and animation, but it's definitely there for a reason. But my point of the whole thing is that these doctors are, from everything I've seen, are real doctors and saying this is what happened with this. This is what we've treated. That video is pulled. People are getting flagged. People are getting their accounts taken down. But there is so much trash and garbage out there of children and of terrible things. For a while, we had that whole Elsa Gate on YouTube. I think they finally took that down. Who knows if it's really taken down, but that was a scary thing with a parent. Elsa Gate was like this thing with YouTube where, a lot of parents give their kids an iPad and they start YouTubing. And like YouTube suggestions, right? Kind of autoplays. And if you look up Elsa Gate, there was these very creepy cartoons that would just pop on and come into their, and it was like Elsa would get hit in the head with a bottle, and it was like real, like very strange and I would say almost pedophilic imagery, and it was very odd. She was always drinking and throwing bottle. It was like nuts, and it would just get popped in. It was Elsa Gate.
So did they find that? Was somebody hacking and
YouTube did,
putting
yeah,
it?
yeah, and then there's speculation that some people there were pedophiles that were kind of like using the chat, and it got very scary and very creepy. And I think YouTube eventually said they did fix it, but it took put it this way, it took a lot longer than it did for those fucking videos to get pulled. Put it that way, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to watch the whole thing because I've been busy, like I said. I haven't been up on my research. Which the Swarm, thank you so much, and any of our fans, we don't have a name for them yet, but thank you because we do get. And all the hours I used to research now, we do get sent stuff, which is great. So, and also I got to always thank James from We the People because he helps a brother out as well when I don't have time to research. But yeah, so
he
that
even
video,
pushed my podcast out a little bit. So.
Yeah, James. Let me tell you something about James. That guy, I don't agree. Like I always say, I love that kid. I know him. He's a real true friend. I don't agree with everything, but I will tell you what, he doesn't just post. That guy research. He is a researcher. That's his life.
And he did a redaction on when he posted that SpongeBob address thing, and then he was like, "Yo, I know I posted this, but I just discovered that you can just go to some website or something and make it." So
and Sam does the same thing. When Sam does something that he'll post something and he'll do this. But you know what, man? Sam, James, Alex Jones, they're right a lot, man. They're right a lot of the fucking times.
Yeah.
We all of us free thinkers, like we've been right for a long time, and it just really pisses me off, and it should piss all of you guys off that a video with doctors speaking their piece gets taken down in less than a day. And we could use Elsa Gay's example. It took months before it got cleaned up, and I'm not even 100% sure. I mean, I would never let my kids, and I don't hope most people won't just let their kids just on a tablet or something unrestricted, just typing, because that's kind of nuts, the shit that's out there. But I know it made a lot of other parents that never thought about before. Hey, maybe we shouldn't just hand them a tablet with YouTube. I bet you if you keep messing around, you could find. I bet you right now, if I look for it, you could probably find those videos to show you.
Yeah.
Where it is a lot harder to find the full video of those women.
Yeah.
Men, or whoever was the doctors.
I
only saw the one woman.
Yeah. Those women.
That's the only thing I got to see a clip of, but it was a very short clips in Instagram stories. I'm telling you, it was very hard for me to find the whole thing.
It is on BitChute.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I saw somebody post a link. I should have gone.
Am I crazy or has Google changed?
Yo, Google's definitely part of the system,
right?
Now.
But it's like I remember, even a long time ago when a word, some crazy occult word would come into my, that I would learn, and I put in Google, and I could just go down a rabbit hole of whatever it is.
No, it's just that's the irony of this whole thing. That's what makes you go like, what the fuck? Because at the same time, like you said, I mean, exactly what you said before. YouTube is tighten the reins and tighten the reins and tighten the reins, right? Until now, nothing that states anything about COVID that goes against the state guidelines can even make it onto fucking air. Yet porn or weird Elsa being all fucked up can pop into things for months
and be suggested,
and
actually be suggested, but
before, come on,
yeah, you could scrub the internet of some things, but not others.
Well, that was what somebody even said to me when we were going back and forth, and I said, why is anything that references vitamins helping with COVID being taken down? And this girl says, that's false information. You can't be spreading false information. If you just leave that down there, then child porn would be all over the internet. And I'm like, you're telling me that their filters can't decipher between fucking child porn and vitamin suggestions?
And the filters should get better with some of that fucking fucked up shit that's out there.
Well, that's exactly. It's still getting on, and the vitamin can't. So, what the fuck?
Man, scary times. That's the scary stuff, man. The censorship is scaring the hell out of me. And
dude, you know what scares me more than the censorship is these fucking assholes clamoring for it. That I'm having debates with on Facebook that they're going, no, it has to be, even the fact checkers, right? Oh, they got these fact checkers. I said, who do you know? Do you know anybody personally that you would let augment all your news? No one could answer that. No, because you don't fucking know anybody personally. Then I'm like, now they're vetted by the National Fact Checking fucking Society or something. And he goes, we can't just have anybody fact checking. Yo, so when I look up, fucking one of the Koch brothers was an investor in this thing or was one of the money guys behind it. And I'm like, yo, like if you can't see everything being regulated to give you one point of fucking view as like the government being tyrannical, I don't know what the fuck. I can't help you. You're lost. I'm sorry. If you can't draw the dots between all that stuff yourself, you know, like it's like CNN, MSNBC, the government itself
and Fox
has to come out.
There.
They all have to come out and tell these fucking people, guess what? We've been corrupt for years for them to even believe it. It's ridiculous.
Well, that kind of goes back to what my question I was asking you. That was kind of like a game I was going to play with you. Is that the people that's whoever this person you're fighting with, it's like I hate to say they're sheep, but it's like they're sheep. They're so asleep.
Well,
it's only what they're told
this
is the
exactly
thing,
what
and
I was.
There's no changing them.
You're further down the road of exactly what I was saying earlier. Remember when I said that they regurgitate the exact same wording that they hear on the fucking newscast or whatever. So if you go, hey, check out this article or this video of these doctors saying this, every fucking person rebuts it with the exact same language because that's what they heard. And I will go the further to say that these are educated people.
Yeah.
Which everybody, well, no. See, you think that that's crazy, but I don't think that's crazy because do you know the definition of educated?
Well, I mean, it's probably schooling.
It's to give instruction.
Exactly. But
it doesn't mean that you're smart.
In society, it's, how many years of college did you go to?
Yeah.
And it seems like the more and more, the ones that have gone to college longer are the ones that you cannot.
Why?
I don't know, man.
Why? Because they're more indoctrinable.
Yeah.
The people that are really good at school are really good at taking information in and then following the rules. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is how you do it. This is how you solve this problem. This is how you write this paper. This is the steps you want to do. So now all you're doing, you're not being a free thinker in college. You are replicating in you have this is exactly the formula you need to do or the format you need to write this story. But your story is going to be different because you're going to do it on racism, all right? And you're going to do it on sexism, and you're going to do yours on fucking whatever you want. But it's all has to come out to the exact same format. So those people that are really educated are just better at taking in knowledge and being like, this is the way it is. Yeah. And they're harder to break, which is also why nutrition is fucked. They've been being taught out of 20-year-old fucking textbooks. This is why, like all that stuff. Think about science, all that shit. All those eggheads are taught that this is the way it is, and that's it. They're like, this is the way it is, as Einstein figured it out fucking whatever years ago, and this is how we do it. When they could be, science is always moving. People go, this is a scientific fact. I've had to research because I was, again, debating with somebody online. You don't know what a fact is. So I looked it up. Fact is something very simple, replicable, that you can witness. Okay, we'll go with the one that we had. Gravity. Every time you let this go, every time. So the fact is things fall to Earth. Things are stuck to the Earth. That's the fact. Everything else about it is a theory. Why does it work? Why are we sucked to the Earth? That's the theory. So there's a fact. There is a virus. Fact. Some people die. Some people don't. That's the facts. Everything else is a fucking theory. How it's spread. How dangerous it is. Does a mask work? Should we be exposed to it so that we build up our immunity? Is there herd immunity? All that shit is theory. Because they keep going, well, we've learned more stuff about it. Then guess what? You didn't have the fucking facts. A fact doesn't change. This thing will fall to the earth tomorrow.
Yeah.
All these numbers that they're giving us, this many COVID death, this many this many that. That's all fucking fudged, man. I don't believe any of that.
Absolutely,
Like I said, the only thing we know is there is a
Absolutely.
virus and it kills some and it doesn't kill others. Everything else is theory and they're trying to prove it and the goal keeps moving, which shows you that they still don't fucking know the facts.
Well, there's also be a fact that this fucking country is going to be fucked for a while with
Yes,
businesses.
100%.
Dude, it's still the early days.
It's still
People
getting worse for
no.
everybody because these
We haven't
businesses
woken up.
haven't come back yet.
No one's actually. I'm not scared, but I'm scared for. I'm scared for this country, man. I'm scared for a lot of people because it's going to be. Everyone's still in La La Land.
All those people that are programmed to do one fucking job, all those educated people, are the ones that's going to have to worry. You and I move and shake and we do what we got to do to make it happen and survive. And a lot of people, we're the opposite. It's not to say you may be educated. I don't know. I'm not really that educated. I made it through high school. After that, I started my own businesses. Right. But so you're less held to a rigid, this is how life works. I mean, I would say that probably we demonstrated that we're not that type of person right off of the bat from not just in high school going, I'm going to be a, you name it, and just go to that job and then been in that job.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think we're the entrepreneur, like, we don't want to be told what to do all the time. We want to come up with our ideas and make it happen. So we're the type of people that will survive in a economy like this. Whereas the people that are tied to their, I'm a whatever they are, I'm a you know what I mean. Like glass installers are doing fucking killing it right now. But like, so you're something else. I don't know. Accountants, I guess you still need those. Something else that's not deemed, necessary there.
Yeah, exactly. There's tons of those 9-to-5s out there. People that got, went to school, whatever, and then got.
They're like,
job.
guess what? It's not necessary for you to eat or have a fucking house. So sorry about your luck.
I'm nervous for that one. Hopefully things are that whole Nasara thing. We don't have time for it today. That looks so cool. I hope it's a real thing. It does.
Well, we're gonna have to get into. That's the next one.
We'll talk about Nasara because we were supposed to do an episode with Tommy and Sam, and we never did it. And it also could be because, once again, I know both those guys don't like predictions of dates, and it was supposed to be already have happened, but it's something that's been around forever. So it's definitely a topic we should talk about, Clint. I got a lot of paperwork on it because I was supposed to do an episode with those guys. So I'll if you want to take it home and look at it, it's really interesting. We could definitely talk about it.
What's the basic?
It's basically like this law that like we're gonna, we go back to the gold standard, and
well, that's a good thing. It's positive.
It's real positive. Okay. It's the most positive thing ever.
I was like, fuck. Sounds ominous.
No, it's so positive. It's so positive. It's like it's the beginning of like of a utopia if it was to happen. Of course, my little thing right away. I'm like, guys, I think this is the beginning of New World Order.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Fuck our wives.
It's one world. This is a one world shit. And people are like, no. And I had to talk to some people that were experts on it. Like, no, listen, just read a little bit more. And I got actually in my office, I got a bunch of documents. I'll let you look at them. They're pretty cool. We should try to find a good guest on somebody that is into that because that's a topic. It's a positive one. It's fun. There's definitely some facts to some things that did happen. And it's a world thing too. It's like it's a thing where the whole world would be almost at peace. I mean, I don't understand how you wouldn't be at peace because everyone's always fighting over money and oil and all that kind of shit.
Do they spray mushrooms from the sky?
They just
they dose us all with psilocybin mushrooms.
They just spray the world with acid and ecstasy.
Yeah.
It's candy flip. So it's like the perfect combination.
Dude, and everybody's just rubbing their legs.
Yeah, and just different DJs come from different clouds.
Everybody's just rubbing their legs and their arms.
Yeah.
And then just cuddling.
Yeah. It's just the best. It's the best party of all time. And it's like whatever music you're into.
Let's touch on real fast. I know we got to go. We're right at an hour. Last weekend on the patio, we never really elaborated. So for anybody that hasn't drawn the connection, we are at the Dojo of Comedy East in Morris Plains, New Jersey. And last weekend on the patio, we had Louis J. Gomez, which is pretty epic.
Yeah.
For a
Zach Amico, it was awesome.
And Zach Amico. And they brought Anna Buenrostro. I didn't remember it because I did 15 minutes or like 10 minutes of material. And then when I was like going to introduce her, I was like, dude, there's no way it's going to happen. I've already run too much information through my brain in between you telling me what your name was and now me having to say it. I'm like, it's over with.
Yeah, no. So we started doing comedy on the patio. We got some great shows lined up. I'm really excited. I'm sure a bunch of our fans probably have saw that Ryan Long woke racist bit. Ryan will be here.
Yeah, if you guys, anybody saw the, so this weekend we actually have the gravy versus sauce. A nice, your fingers are going to be stuck together like this, like a nice Italian boy or girl. So it's all paisans on this
fun.
thing.
It's a fun. It doesn't get any more Jersey than this, but it's an Italian-American show that's been going on here for a while. It's a series that's just great, and it's a lot of New York comics too, not just New Jersey.
And then next weekend, August 8th, is Gino Bisconti of the In Hot Water podcast. Yep. He also did a bunch. We never figured out if it was ESPN or where did he do all those football.
Yeah, he's a real funny dude. Very exciting.
Super funny. He was on a...
and we have Rich Carucci with him also.
Yeah, Rich Carucci is going to host.
It's going to be a great show.
And then we have Steve Poston doing...
unbelievable show.
He's a pun comedian. He does sings a lot of songs. He's
not a player, but he crushed a lot.
There you go. Yeah. Right. We should say that. That's a good one. I'll work that in. He's little, though.
I'm
He's
excited
Little Pun.
for that. I'm excited for that show.
Maybe that's his new name. He's Little Pun.
But yeah, we're doing it, man. We're doing it. It's
and after that is Ryan Long.
And then we have Ryan Long, and then we have a couple other big ones.
And you can get all the tickets at
Eventbrite. By the weekend, we'll have Dojo of Comedy backworking.com.
Right now, Tiff's Comedy.
TiffsComedy.com. All that stuff will be up. All of our Instagrams and everything, you can find everything. I do want to give a shout out before we go. I was on a podcast, the Mental Mastery Alliance. It was a lot of fun. I did it early this week.
That's why I didn't get invited on that one.
Go check it out.
I had too many times.
Yeah. But check it out. It was a lot of fun. It was just a conversation like this. We touched on a couple different things. But it was an awesome show. Great. The guy's got an awesome cool thing going. He doesn't just talk conspiracies. He talks about a lot of positive things as well, which I love.
And he's a motivational speaker?
Yeah, he's got a lot of motivational stuff. He does brush on conspiracies as well. But yeah, check that out. The Mental Mastery Alliance. And it was a lot of fun. I hope to have him on our show soon. And I want to give a shout out to HeroSoapCompany.com. Clint told me about HeroSoapCompany.com. It's an American-made soap company by veterans. And I just want to give them a shout out. They're fans of the show, and you should check them out. All of the product, all the money goes, not all, but a lot of the money will go back to veterans and first responders. And we're getting a care pack soon, but I heard the soaps are really awesome, and I can't wait to try them.
I heard you feel like you're standing on the top of a mountain naked.
I can't wait to try that. Especially after this fucking hot-ass studio.
I'm going to close my eyes and pretend I'm on top of it, like trying to meditate myself on top of a mountain.
Yeah. It's gonna feel like, you said they're menthol, right?
Just the one was.
Yeah. It's like back in the raves when the guy used to take the Vicks and blow it in your face. after three Mitsubishi Turbos.
I was racing dirt bikes, dude. I couldn't be doing all that.
No one was cracking glow sticks and blowing Vicks in your eyes.
No.
Wow.
Definitely
That's what will bring it back to me when I try this stuff. I can't wait. Clint, I don't know.
Freethinker.tv. That's where you can find this. No carnival parking. And the Clint Files, which I talk about mainly like food and health and working out and stuff like that. So natural pain relievers. It's more holistic. I am super against prescription pills, and I guess you could go and watch my last one on there, the vilification of vitamins, which basically you'll get my take on eating and everything else. So thank you, everybody, especially all the people on audio, dude. Your audio feed is pretty...
Well, thank you. I want to thank everyone that listens. Guys, please review the podcast. Give it a like, a subscribe, so Clint and I can keep doing this and get some really awesome guests for you. We're in talks for some pretty cool guests coming up. But I'm so thankful for everybody that listens or watches. I'm also thankful for Clint that puts all this stuff together.
I'm amazed anybody cares to listen to us.
Yeah, well, I'm very appreciative of all of you. I really am. Thank you so much. This is fun, and we're going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep opening up everyone's minds, one mind at a time.
And next week we'll have a guest and it'll be more put together. I lost one charger and then my other charger blew up, so then I had no computer for days, and Mike was texting me for like 3 days like, yo, we got a pot. I'm like, I don't have a computer, man. I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah.
So he borrowed one. Thank you to whoever he borrowed the
Cat. Thanks, Cat.
he borrowed a charger just so that we could get this done. So.
Yeah, we had our first week of technical difficulties. It's all right.
All right, everybody, please. Right now, tiffscomedy.com. Later on in the weekend, it'll be, so maybe by the time you listen to this, dojoofcomedy.com.
Yep, dojoofcomedy.com.
That's going to be the official site. And please support live comedy, even if it's not us. Get out there. Support venues, support comedians. Please support us because we're fucking funny, man.
Yeah, and if you're a patriot, you support supporting comedy means you're supporting free speech.
That's right.
So it does go hand in hand. Comedy equals free speech as long as they're letting free speech happen. But support those venues,
We got to
please.
force it. All right. Later, everybody. Thanks.